How does somebody who got rejected by McDonald's end up the first Wingate with a degree, a commissioned officer in the Coast Guard, and a 3-time overall champion chasing a pro card?
Hey, look, man. I'd say God's blessing. When I grew up, the world I grew up in was, from what I know, it was normal, right? I thought it was a normal life. But in terms of what the world was, everybody that I met after I left my city is not normal. 6 or 7 people in a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, normal, right?
Yeah.
Living in the projects, normal. Not really having food in the fridge, normal. Roaches and bed bugs in your house, normal. How I grew up trench baby, right? Don't come from anything. I grew up a prison baby, right? My mom was in prison. Drugs all around. All of my family members are drug addicts. I watched all of my family members wither away through drugs and addiction. Crabs in a bucket. How I grew up is crabs in a bucket, right? Everyone's pinching at each other trying to get out of the bucket, but if you don't have somebody to grab you, or you do something miraculous, or something like God bringing you out, you won't know how to get out of the situation. Sports for me growing up, that was just like the only thing that we knew, right? You're not playing, there was no iPads. I mean, maybe we had Game Boy Advance, a little bit of PlayStation, Xbox, but like I was outside. Everything I wanted to do, I wanted to jump fences and run. What sports meant to me, athletes got girls, athletes had money, athletes were cool. So like, that was the thing that we were all doing. We were trying to become athletes. Subconsciously, I didn't know it was gonna turn me into like what I'm doing today, but that's just how it was for us growing up. So the scar on my knee, I know a lot of people see it. How did I get this scar on my knee? It's funny we bring this up. My friend Caleb, rest in peace to him, just went to his funeral. He was my best friend from childhood, right? We played sports all through high school together and from middle school. But we were at varsity basketball practice, us and all the rest of the homies, trying out for the varsity basketball team. I'm going up for a dunk, right? Try to show off in front of the boys, whatever. And I go up and it just like, and I'm thinking. Just popped. So I'm like, but all the boys are around. One, it's embarrassing, you just on the ground, right? So I look down at my leg, I'm like, no, I'm good. Telling everybody, help me up. I'm good. They're like, hell no, look at your leg. Like, hell no. So literally, I'm looking at it, right? I'm not thinking anything of it, but like, if you go back and look at Kevin Ware, my shit didn't come out of my knee, but you could see my leg in 3 pieces. It was like this piece, flat here, and then down. So my leg was 3 pieces, and as I'm sitting on the ground, I'm looking down at my leg and I'm watching my thigh go and be the same size as my ankle, all in one from inflammation, like that. So it happened at a varsity basketball practice, trying to show off for the boys. I just remember all my homies coming to see me. You know, it's a memory, right? But I don't know, just the timing of this question, right? It just brings me back to being grateful for my friend that just passed away, right? He was there. He was a part of the reason why I was doing what I was doing. Caleb was my right-hand man, bro. I did everything with him. If there's any first that I had growing up, from the ages of 13 to 17, if there's any first that I had, that normal teenage first that you have, I did it with him. First time driving a car, he was with me. First, everything. First movie date, first everything. I did that with him. First basketball dunk, first job he was coming. Like, I spent so much time with this man. We signed to college together. He didn't go to the same college as me, but we signed at the same time.
Did he go to the Coast Guard Academy with you?
He did not go to the Coast Guard Academy. Why did I choose to go to the Coast Guard Academy? There's no like specific background behind the Coast Guard Academy itself. All I knew was military sending you to school, right? I'm in a fucked up situation where my family doesn't have money. Nobody knows what the academies are where I'm from. Nobody knows what that shit is, right? But all I seen was academics that I needed. I seen full scholarship, and I seen college degree. And I'm like, and I seen military. I knew military always paid, so I'm like, fuck, what do I gotta do to get in here? The Coast Guard Academy changed my life. So I went for this thing called AIM. Coast Guard Academy has this thing called AIM. You go in your junior year. Basically, me coming from where I'm from, I've never been on a plane my entire life. It was a culture shock when I got there, right? They fly me out for this summer program. You stay there for a week. Basically, you go through like basic training for what the academy will be. But mind you, I grew up in Hampton, Virginia, so I get flown out by the military to go to this program. It's like basic training, bro. Like you're at the position of attention, you're not talking, like you're sounding off, you're waking up hella early, you're getting screamed at, all this shit. So I fly in late and they like shuffle me into my room and they're like, tomorrow morning, like be ready to get up. And I get up, bro, like I'm woken up at like 5 a.m, bro, beating on my door. Get up, get up. Why are these screaming at me? Like I thought this was a regular summer camp. Point is, right, it was a culture shock. I'd never been through anything like that, but it opened my eyes to show me, I guess it sparked my curiosity, right? Like, these people are significantly different than me. How are they like this, right? You learn more about these newfound people, right? And you hear about how they grow up, what they go through. It's like, oh shit. Like, where I'm at, where I grew up, this is not normal. It was like, oh shit, like I need to be here. Spending 200 weeks at the Coast Guard Academy turned me into, it changed my life, right? If you ever go through a hard time, in the middle of going through a hard time, you never understand like what it's doing to you. Even with bodybuilding, I can relate a lot to bodybuilding, right? You going through a prep, it sucks. But when you fucking win, like you look back like that was fucking amazing. Like I loved every second of what I did. So the Coast Guard Academy changed me, right? It taught me how to be an adult. It taught me how to cope. It taught me how to stand outside of my comfort zone. I wasn't the smartest person there. I wasn't the most athletic person there. I didn't have the best background and support system, but it turned me into a man, right? Like I had to take care of whatever was in front of me. Didn't matter. Like they put it in front of you, like you're gonna fucking do this.
So you took those lessons. Eventually you transitioned into bodybuilding. What pulled you on to that stage?
The lab gym. Coming here, I used to just work out for fun. I had a moderate body. I was like, okay. But like I never thought about bodybuilding. Where I'm from, they thought it was fucking gay. To get on what the fuck you taking your shirt off for? Who you think you are? Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not something that we do, right? But then I come here, I get around the people in the lab, I'm seeing, then you start to see people with money. You start to see the opportunities that come with it, and then you look at what goes into it, right? It's hard work, but a lot of it's like what you naturally bring to the table. Some people just have it and some people don't. And it took me a long time to figure it out, or it took a lot of talking to by people and being around in this community. It took a lot of people to tell me like, bro, you have it. Like you have the genetics that it takes to be a bodybuilder. Like you can do this. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna take this shit serious, right? It took some time, but eventually they got to me. And I'm not a pro yet, but it is gonna come soon. My first show was 2023 October, right after I came off of deployment. San Francisco Championships. Bob convinced me to go do a show on a 2-week prep. Mind you, I don't know anything about bodybuilding at this point. Like I don't know posing. I know I have a fucking six-pack. and I know that like I'm kind of like buff, but like they showed up for me though, right? Like this wasn't even my home gym at that point. I was coming here, but like people showed up to cheer for me, and I didn't even really know anybody here. Right? So it was an experience, right? At first it left a bitter taste in my mouth, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, I just spent money, I get on stage, and I lose. Like I didn't get first place. What the hell? Like I'm never doing this again. And then I had a couple friends that already competed explain it to me like, bro, you really think you're gonna get on stage on a 2-week prep? Yeah, you're lucky you got fucking second. But that show was for sure an eye opener. It did leave a bitter taste in my mouth at first, but eventually I come around and you learn a lot about the sport, and it makes you grateful. What changed in my first actual bodybuilding season was understanding that it's a selfish sport, and that relationships that you have, the real ones will stick. The real people that really support your goals, they'll stay around. Bodybuilding for sure will allow you to straight and narrow, and show you those people who are really gonna stick with you, stick beside you when you're in your lowest. It gives you clarity. It really gives you clarity. It sucks that it has to be that way, right? But I really appreciate everybody who's ever believed in me. How First Form happened for me is, obviously I've been on the social media ground for a while, right? I was sending DMs to all the brands that I really wanted to work with, right? I just wanted somebody to believe in me, right? I didn't have very many followers. I didn't have much going on, but I was starting bodybuilding, right? And I knew what First Form was, but as big as they are, like I'm not expecting them to actually respond to me, right? So I DM them basically like, are you guys trying to collaborate and look for athletes, right? They actually respond to me, so on and so forth. The standards that they set, like, it's a company you just want to be with. It's not just a company, it's not just a protein bottle. It's the standard, right? The standard of life. Like, the standards that they live by at this company you can apply that to any facet of your life. And once I figured that out about, how they are and this is what this means, bro, I was like, how could I not want to be a part of this? I feel like I aligned 100% with First One's values. Like, the standards that they set, once again, it's called the standard, right? We do the work, the standard, all of the catchphrases that you may think are just catchphrases, they actually live that shit. Like, it's just not like some put on the wall hashtag shit. Like, that's real shit. Where does my life go from here? The biggest thing is, with having a demanding life, with being in the military, bodybuilding, and social media, right? The biggest thing that I want to do is translate over my happiness, right? And I want to make sure that I can make an impact on other people to show them, right, that if you come from a background like me, you can do some of the same things, right? Like, the world's your oyster. I want people to know that, hey, I learned this lesson from Vaughn. Like, watching Vaughn's experiences and watching how he takes his day to day, he wasn't fed the best deck of cards, but like, he made do with what was given to him, and look at where he is. Positivity. Where do I place God in my life and in this journey, and how important has he been, right? I grew up going to a Baptist church. My grandma made sure I was in church every Sunday. Choir, Sunday school. I know God, right? I know he's real. I know he has a hand in whatever's going on. And after I graduated and I left and I didn't have my grandma's influence, I kind of took him for granted. Not saying that things went away or he treated me bad or he let me have it or everything went bad, but I for sure just kind of swayed away from it, right? As of recently, started reading again, started practicing again, going through some rough times, watching my family members pass away, so many different things happen, and just put it back on him. I watched my life change like this. Once I brought God back into my life, mind you, I started doing this privately, right? I don't go to a Sunday school, but I do read on my own. Once I started using the Bible as a resource to guide me through life situations. There's real life situations that you can literally relate the Bible to real life. Anytime you just, use it as a reference, it guides you in the right direction. It allows you to make clear, concise, and the right decisions with a lot of things you have going on. What would I tell somebody who went through the exact same thing I went through? Be optimistic, see the positive, see outside the box. Don't limit yourself to what you see everyone else doing. It may be cool, and some of the things you may think are cool may be lame to the people around you. The right people will come around, the right situations will arise, and it'll all work out. Just stay the course, work hard, just get out of the situation. Whatever makes you comfortable, stay uncomfortable.